Hi, what's up? This is Tasha, Evening Sound Talk with Tasha at 6:06 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hopefully everything is going well. It's Thursday. Hopefully your week is going well. You accomplish whatever you want it to. Everything's going good physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Hopefully your work week is going well. Summer is going well. If it's kids are in summer camp, some people are working. Whatever you're doing, I hope you're having fun and enjoying it. It's positive, not anything negative or not doing anything bad out here. But focusing on the good, focusing on the positive. Haven't been out here because I've been sick, wasn't feeling well. I still went to work, lost my voice and everything. A little bit better on the tail end of it, but still coughing and stuff like that. I don't know if I had COVID or what, but because I'm sure it's still around. But yeah, I was sick, so that's why I wasn't on here. But it's July 2nd. Happy belated heavenly birthday to my cousin, Dominique. Happy heavenly birthday, belated birthday to my cousin Dominique. He passed away. So shout out to him. And I know you're in heaven and everything's better than it was here on earth. So going into some daily affirmations for today. Hopefully somebody get on here if they put it out in the algorithm. I am growing. I am growing. I know my worth. I love every part of me. So those are the three. I love every part of me. I know my worth and I am growing. So those are the three affirmations for today. Dwayne Wade's son, I think it's Zaire Wade, was arrested for felony violence, and according to the NBC4 Burbank police, that was they received a call around 5:30 a.m. Sunday. This was last Sunday. It was a woman screaming at the residence, and when the police arrived, on Zaire, and a woman who had lacerations on her face and her body was there. The woman wasn't taken to the hospital even though she had injuries. Zaire was booked and charged. Allegedly, he was booked and charged with felony domestic violence and criminal threats and false imprisonment. A protective order was issued. He was released later on the day of the incident on a $50,000 bond. So that's story number one. It's really hot in France. It says France is now hotter than 99% of the planet. It says France is now hotter than 99% of the planet. I don't know how hot France is, but it's pretty hot here in Alabama, and that's for sure. And we used to heat, but this is like a dry, humid heat. It's like worse than it's ever been that I've been felt since I've lived here. So it's pretty hot here. And I don't know if France hotter than Arizona, because if you're talking about how hot it is in Arizona and stuff like that. So if it's hotter than Arizona, like 100, over 100 degrees and stuff like that, it's real hot. France had a record-breaking heat wave. It says parts of France are enduring severe heat. I don't know if it's still, because it's probably like a couple days ago, so it's probably still hot. But I read this article, but it says parts of France are enduring severe heat. It has had temperatures reaching 111.7 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty hot this week, which was last week. Shattered hundreds of temperature records. It pushed dozens of departments to the highest red alert level. And it says, it's being that France doesn't really get this hot, don't really have air conditioning, so they're not used to this heat, so they don't have AC. The heat has surprised tourists that's visiting in France, and some advice that they're giving people that live there and tourists that come in to tour France. It says drink plenty of water, which we all should be doing, drinking more water if it's like really, really hot. Stay indoors regularly. Check on your elderly neighbors and family members. So make sure we're checking on with elderly people. Make sure they're straight, because some elderly people don't have air conditioning. Some be in hot houses. Make sure they're okay in this heat that we're having this summer. So make sure your elderly neighbors, elderly family members are okay, and check on them and make sure they're safe and doing well. It says swim only in supervised areas. Don't leave children or pets in parked cars, which I just read. Somebody, I'm not gonna go because I forgot what it said. I should have wrote it down. A father left a child in the car. Said he forgot he was in there, and the child passed away. Somebody found the child in the car Monday, so that was this week. That happened this week. But China is placing data centers on the ocean floor. It says to use seawater as a natural cooling system to reduce energy and water consumption. It says off the coast of Shanghai and Hainan, facilities are made of opaque steel cabins operating underwater media channels frequently. They submerge these data cabin operators use natural seawater for passive cooling, which reduces energy demands by up to 90% and eliminates fresh water consumption entirely. The units run in dust-free, oxygen-deficient nitrogen environment that drastically cuts hardware failure rates. It says it faces criticism by some people. It says difficult maintenance requiring heavy machinery to lift units for repairs and potential big term localized thermal impacts on marine ecosystems. So it's going to mess up the ecosystem, basically what they're saying, which it probably will mess up. So I about to leave that so I can see people being against it. Going into the next story, Genuine got engaged, going to these age gap relationships. Genuine got engaged to 28-year-old Miami realtor. Her name is Jeanette Escartin. I guess it's how you pronounce her name. Hopefully that's correct. Genuine is 55. She's 28. He proposed to her in Washington, D.C. 2 weeks ago. They met in South Florida a few years ago. They've been keeping it on the low, and a wedding date has not been set. Going into a couple other things that I found out, read articles that I was reading today. In Thailand, 9 Thai monks were unalived after an 11-year-old little boy. He was driving a truck, and he unalived 11 monks. It says 9 Buddhist monks were unalived, and several others in their procession injured, and they were hit by an 11-year-old boy driving his parents' pickup truck. And it happened in northeast Thailand, according to the police. 5 monks passed away at the scene, and 4 others passed away later at the hospital, the police said. And the boy took truck without parents' permission. They said the little boy had special needs. It said 3 monks remain in critical condition. 5 others are seriously hurt, and there are more being treated for lighter injuries. The child was at home alone because he was sick and didn't go to school. So that was the story. Now, and going to another story, it's this commercial. You know how commercials about driving under the influence of alcohol, and then they started having commercials about driving while buzzed, because they said buzz driving is the same as like under the influence of like marijuana and all this. So it was this one commercial where this guy gets into an accident, and he gets into an accident with a car. He runs into a car, and the car hits like a tree or something, and it's a woman. He gets out. It's a woman that's in the front seat driving, and you can tell she's really hurt. And then they show a little girl in the back seat was visibly like really, really hurt. And then at the end of the commercial, it says it's really happened. So I looked up I've been seeing this commercial. It's new, but then at the end of the commercial, it talks about marijuana and driving under the influence of marijuana. So I decided to look this up. They said it was true, which it is true, but I decided to look it up to see where it happened, when it happened, and the details of this story, because I've been seeing it so long. So I was like, I want to know what really happened. But it happened in Kane County, Illinois. The story was written March 6, 2025. A man was sentenced in cannabis DUI crash that unalived a 4-year-old little girl. The cab man was sentenced to 12 and a half years in prison. The mother of the little girl, she was seriously injured, and the guy who got in this crash with the mom and her daughter, his name was Edgar Barros, and was driving nearly 80 miles per hour, 78. It says 78 in the article I went on. It says 78 miles per hour when he lost control and crashed into a Jeep, causing it to catch on fire. And this happened October 1st of 2022. Edgar was driving a Chrysler 200. He also struck a second car that was behind the Jeep after this. He caused the first crash. He tested a 6.6 on the nanograms per. I think that's, I don't know, can't read my right, but he tested when he got a blood test, and he tested a 6.6, and that's it says 9 THC in his blood. So yeah, he was high basically, and driving uncontrollably, driving 78 miles per hour, got in a crash, and caused an accident. Lost control of his car, caused an accident. So seriously hurt this mother, and then the child passed away. She was 4 years old, and that happened back in October 1st of 2022. So people talking about marijuana not being a drug, but it really is. I was having a conversation with somebody today. Every time I turn around, I be having the same conversation with people, and they talk about it like it's nothing, but it's really serious. And I really think it's like a gateway drug. So just be careful out here. And most people that do smoke, it's because they don't want to deal with their trauma. Go to therapy. Have somebody close you can talk to, a close friend, a close family, trusted friend, trusted family member. Make sure you're listening to the right ones, because some people out here talking to certain people, and they actually leading you down the wrong road. And it's more and more. I was reading. I should have took a screenshot of it, but I wrote it down. But I realized how different I am from certain people, because the more I talk to people, the more I see that certain people are going down the wrong road, going down the wrong path. And I was like, I'm not finna, you're not finna take me to hell with you, because I'm not going there. But yeah, I'm not going there. And then probably people probably can hear me because my thing, I forgot, you can't hear when I have my phone pushed away. So it's probably, and this thing is up. So you're probably not going to be able to hear me all that whole 15 minutes. I just stood there talking, sat here talking, didn't realize this thing was up. So I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me or not. That's probably why nobody came on here. But it'll be all right. If it's muffled or if it's low, hopefully everything I said was heard. If it wasn't, oh well. I talked about daily affirmations. I go back over this real quick. I am growing. I know my worth. I love every part of me. Dwayne Wade's son, Zaire Wade, was arrested for felony violence, allegedly, according to the NBC4 Burbank police. They received a call around 5:30 a.m. Sunday, and it was a woman screaming at the residence, allegedly. And when the police got there, Zaire and the woman who had lacerations on her face and on her body was there when the cops arrived. The woman wasn't taken to the hospital, even though she had injuries. Zaire was booked and charged with felony domestic violence, criminal threats, and false imprisonment. A protective order was issued. He was released later on that day when the incident happened, and it was a $50,000 bond. He was released. You know, you gotta pay 10%, so 10% of 50,000, which is 500. But France is hot. France is hotter than 99% of the planet. France had a record-breaking heat wave. Parts of France are enduring severe heat. It has had temperatures reaching 111.7 degrees Fahrenheit this week, which was last week, I think. Shattered, I ain't write down the date, shattered hundreds of temperature records. It pushed dozens of departments to the highest level of red alert level because the temperature is so hot in France. You know, they don't have AC in France because they're not used to all this heat. The heat has surprised tourists, and some advice they've been giving people: drink more water, stay indoors, regularly check on your elderly neighbors and your elderly family members. It says swim only in supervised areas and don't leave children or pets in parked cars. That's everywhere. Please don't leave your children or pets in parked cars. When you get out your car, please check your car. Look before you go anywhere. Because I know sometimes we forget. We be going on about our day, and it might happen. Sometimes it might happen, but please check your cars. Don't leave children or pets in your cars ever. It's hot, and these kids are passing away. People are leaving their kids in these cars, and it's hot, and they're passing away. So please check, and don't leave your kids or pets in your cars at all. China is replacing data centers on ocean floors. China is replacing placing data centers on ocean floors to use seawater as a natural cooling system to reduce energy and water consumption off the coast of Hainan and Shanghai. And facilities are made of sealed opaque steel. Cabins operating underwater media channels frequently. They submerge these data cabins. Cabin operators use natural seawater for passive cooling, which reduces energy demands by up to 9% and eliminates freshwater consumption entirely. The units run in dust-free, oxygen-deficient nitrogen environment that drastically cuts hardware failure rates. These things are facing criticism because it's difficult maintenance is required, heavy machinery to lift units for repairs and potentially long-term localized thermal impacts on marine ecosystem means killing the animals and kill the animals. So, yeah. Gene Wine got engaged to a 28-year-old Miami realtor. He's 55. She's 28. He proposed in Washington, D.C. 2 weeks ago. They met in South Florida a few years ago, and no wedding date has been set. So it's a little bit on that. 9 Thai months were unalived after an 11-year-old driver collides with a procession. 9 Buddhist monks were unalived and several others in their procession injured. They were hit by an 11-year-old boy driving his parents' pickup truck. It happened in northeast Thailand, according to the police. 5 months unalived at the scene, and 4 others passed away later. In the hospital, said the police said, and the boy took the truck without his parents' permission. They said he had special needs. Said the little boy had special needs, and he was at home from school because he was sick. And I'm assuming his parents was at work. But the 3 months remain in critical condition. 5 others are seriously hurt, and it says more are being treated for lighter injuries. The child was at home. Once again, the child was at home alone because he was sick and didn't go to school. So that's a little bit on that. Kane County, Illinois, man was sentenced to Canada's DUI crash that unalived a 4-year-old little girl. The DeKalb County man was sentenced to 12 and a half years in prison, seriously injured the mother. Edgar Barros was driving nearly 80 miles per hour when he lost control and crashed into a Jeep, causing it to catch on fire. This happened October 1st, 2022. Edgar was driving across the 200. He also struck a second vehicle that was behind the Jeep after this crash. And they was talking about what he tested when he had a blood test. So they was talking about what he tested after they gave him a blood test, which was a 6.6. So when it came to him being tested for like marijuana, they said it was a 6.6, which was high. This says milliliter. I don't know if there's. I think it's milliliter of Delta 9. 6 nanograms per milliliter of Delta 9 THC in his blood. So that's what they said. But I'm going to wrap this up. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Everybody's having a good day. I got to get on. If I don't get on here a couple days, it's like I completely stop. So they don't put it out. But hopefully everybody had a good day. My day went well. Work was fine. It was really nobody there. It was like it was pretty much boring. A real boring day, but I was there. Few people was there, not many people, but we had that many people to come in, but yep. So other than that, hopefully everybody's doing good. Everybody's living right, eating right, working out 3 to 5 days a week. 30 minutes each day because it helps with trauma. It helps with anxiety. I'm going to take that back. It helps with anxiety. Helps with stress. Also helps with depression. They say working out helps with stress, anxiety, and depression. So work out, going to therapy. If you need a therapist, go to your primary care physician. They can refer you to a therapist, a counselor, a psychiatrist if you're having any dealing with any mental illness, mental illness that's in your life. Therapy, counseling, going to a psychiatrist helps. Journaling, dealing with stress, try to de-stress, finding a hobby that you like doing some yoga, meditation, going for a hike, going for a walk, painting, drawing, playing a sport if you enjoy sports, fishing, camping. Some people like Lego building. Some people like playing video games these days. Find something that you like doing and do it. So singing, what else? I don't know. Something that you enjoy doing, finding a hobby. I write poetry, writing. So writing poems. Some people like doing spoken word. So find something that you enjoy doing that's positive, that's gonna help you in life, make you feel better, positive, something, not nothing bad, not anything bad. Um, don't turn to drugs, don't turn to alcohol, because it's not good. But hopefully everybody's doing well. But I'm gonna wrap this up because there's nobody on here. Um, if in it's probably it's gonna say 0. But for the people that watch this later, like, subscribe, comment, share. Thank you for coming on and watching watching my content. I appreciate it. Be the light, be the peace. Care for yourself, care for others, love yourself, love others, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. In this world, like I said, be the light, be the peace, put good energy into this world, put good vibes into this world, and be positive. So thank you and have a blessed day. Bye.